Developing tonight as we speak, an investigation into a jewelry store robbery this afternoon at Town Center Mall in Cobb County, and tonight police are searching for those three suspects. It's a story we first broke on 11 Alive at 5. The suspects allegedly started shooting inside the mall, causing dozens of shoppers to panic. 11 Alive John Sherrick is live in Cobb County with more on this bold and brazen armed robbery. John?
It was frightening. It was chaotic. Shoppers inside Town Center at Cobb had every reason at first to think someone was running through the mall shooting at people. It turned out the gunfire was from an armed robbery of a jewelry store. The police response, massive.
One of the shoppers who fled outside to the Town Center Mall parking lot described the scene on Facebook Live.
About 15 gunshots went off right by us in the mall. Y'all people are up nowadays.
Ryan Ford, afraid at first that people still inside were targets of a mass shooter. So were Cobb County police.
I have not seen this many cops in I don't know how long. I think I've counted 40 plus.
Shoppers inside took cover. J-Rock tweeted, "Trapped in the back of Champs," as he and others sought shelter from the gunfire. Police quickly tracked the gunfire to one store inside the mall, A&M Custom Jewelry. Police say 3 people robbing the store wore masks and fired multiple rounds while stealing jewelry, then ran outside to a car and got away. One jewelry store employee has non-life-threatening injuries, according to police, but police would not say at first if the employee had been shot. They closed the mall and cleared out the frightened customers to begin their investigation into this latest Metro Atlanta mall shooting.
And Cobb County police have not yet released any security cam video from inside the mall and have not yet released any descriptions of the 3 armed robbers.
All right, John, thank you. All those families made it home safely tonight.